Hi, and welcome to another episode of Synergy of the Rose. Beratio here,
Hi everyone, Sylvia Haida.
and we are giggling because we were just doing the prep for what this YouTube is going to be about. And I kind of, well, spirit kind of came in, took over me.
Yeah,
And Sylvia was like, "What?"
no, because at first I was just like, wait a second, wait, who am I talking to? What? I am so confused. so, and I'm like, and then I realized it was spirit. I'm like, oh, hold on, okay, yes, we go with that.
So apologies because I'm just sat here giggling because I'm just like I obviously just went off. We were talking earlier and I was kind of talking about the divine feminine and how it had surprised me because I'd had a guest over the last week, a dear friend, and she was a little bit confused as to why I'm so vehement about the woman. And I said to her, "We have worked so hard." And she said, "Yeah, but we're nearly there." And I went, "Western world is nearly there. Just the Western world. There are so many other atrocities happening to women and young girls, inequalities and persecution is still going on around the world." And so Sylvia and I were talking about that. And then when we were preparing to do this episode, Sylvia had something come onto her radar. And we started to kind of say, okay, where are we going to go with this? And then obviously spirit came in and said, no, the divine feminine, the womb healing.
Yeah.
And
So I was
Sylvia
like,
sat there
yeah.
going, what?
I was like, okay, we get it, we get it. We're gonna talk about that. Yes, and you know what? I know that in the Western world we feel like we've come there, especially in Europe. But now the woman is also under attack in the US as much. They're doing laws, and it's like just strictly, it's just women. They're attacking women, but all over the world as well. And how, like you said, there's still women that are being stoned to death. There's still women that are being sold, young brides. I mean, just the other day I saw an article about how the parents are, they give away their youngest daughter, someone's young as 9, to marry
Mm-hmm.
a 20, 30, 40, 50, 70-year-old man. Those things are still happening. And
Yeah. And I think we need to really take on board. We are not looking to take over the world. That's the first thing. Okay. I'm the first one to say I do not want to move from a patriarchy to a matriarchy. What I want is equality. That is where I'm going. That is my mission, is to get the equality. But I want to get a level of equality globally, not just for me and mine. I want this globally because women women have so much to bring to the table. But first, they have to really, well, one, they have to step out from under the oppression.
mm-hmm.
And two, they then have to start rebuilding themselves and reconnecting. And that's what a lot of the womb healing is all about. That is when you see womb healing and you've never had it, go for it. Just go for it, because you're bringing in the ancestral, you're healing the wounds of the woman, of the divine feminine, and you're healing the ancestral lineages of that feminine line. And when you can do that, what you actually do is you end up getting a much more balanced life. And because we're balanced, we can then balance out the masculine. And that's why it's so important to me. Because at the moment, what I see in the UK, having moved back here, I feel sorry for young men at the moment. I'm the first one. When I was younger, it's like, no, we need our rights. And I was very kind of militant as a young woman. But young men are very displaced at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
And so the quicker we can get balance, the quicker we can help them have their balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you talk more about how we can do the healing, the womb healing? Because I know a lot of listeners don't know what that means or how to do it. Or
Well, the wound healing is a whole ceremony that would need to be a couple of podcasts on its own, to be honest. But ancestral, start with yourself. Start with meditation. Start with making a list of all the things, all the things that you actually say to yourself about yourself. Really tune in to that inner voice, and then ask yourself, okay, where did that come from? Was that given to me? Did I give that to me? Or is that something I've felt since birth? And so with those 3 questions, you can identify whether your life experiences has knocked your confidence. So you're saying negative things about yourself. That's something that you're doing to yourself. Whether you were given those by the people that were around you, by our observations in those first 7 years. Because we watch our mothers, our sisters, our aunts, all that feminine lineage, okay, my words out, lineage. What were their programs? What were they teaching you subconsciously? Or is that something you've always felt? And if it's something you've always felt, you can guarantee that that's been passed down through the lines. And I work, and this is where it came in funny, because obviously Sylvia was talking about psychology and the DNA imprinting and how that is now being proved in psychology. And of course, in energy, we also do that, and it comes down through the lines. And so if you can identify those, then you can decide which ones are creating the most dysfunction in your life, are creating the most negativity in your life, and start to work on them one by one. Don't try and look at it as a whole, which is why it's really important to make a list. Because I love a list, and then when you've worked through it and you've reprogrammed yourself so that what you were doing you no longer do, and you're not thinking of being consciously aware to stop yourself from doing it, that's when you've reprogrammed yourself on a subconscious level. And so then you can cross that one off the list, and you work down to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. When you've done you then look at your female relationships, so your sister, your mother. So start with family. Some will want to start with friends if there's a level of dysfunction that makes family uncomfortable to deal with to begin with, because they are trickier. So you can start with your female friendships. Do they serve you? What are the dynamics? Is there toxicity in the way that they talk, the way they express themselves? Because we've all had it. We've all caught a look from a girlfriend and thought, oh God, what did I do there? So we all know it's there. And of course, that makes us then judge ourselves because somebody else is judging us. And that's where we need to learn to go, that's theirs. I don't know what's going on. That's my interpretation. And until I actually ask her, I don't know what that look means. I'm just interpreting what that look means. And I'm interpreting it in a negative way, and then I'm beating myself up for it. And so not everybody will have the level of confidence to go up to that girlfriend and go, oh, you just shot me a look. What did that mean?
No.
And so to begin with, it's just learning to step away and go, I don't know what that means, but I'm not going to make a story about it. Because that's what we're doing, is we're making a story. Without knowing what their truth was, we make up a story.
Yes.
From information and from programs that we're already running.
Yes, absolutely. I that's one of the main things I always tell my daughter, because she's going through that right now, of course, in junior high, well, high school almost. It's the looks. It's the girls giving you looks. And what the story she tells herself right? And I'm like, okay, let's listen to this. Tell me how it happened. And because I know her, I already told her, okay, is this really her? Or is this you? And I always say, you really cannot, you can only see what you're projecting. You
Mm-hmm.
really cannot see anything else. So what you see in someone giving you the dirty look, that's just you. You need to look inside you why you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course, if you don't know how to do that, that's gonna be impossible. But that's a really great point. It's that we don't really know the other person. We don't really know anything because the only thing that we see is what we project
Mm-hmm.
from projections.
Yeah. We see something and we go through our memory bank and go, oh, that look means X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remember that we've probably got a memory bank of that look means X, Y, and Z from a million different stories we have told ourselves without actually knowing what the truth of what that look means.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of the situation. And so learn to do that first. Learn to really home in on that and stop those stories before they start. And so it's building up yourself, building up, and then building a really secure sisterhood around you. Women, and this is why there's been so much segregation, because women together are very, very, very powerful.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely, and that's why they try to keep us apart, and that's why they put us against each other, and that's why, to me, it's not until now my adulthood that I realize, like, oh my gosh, they are the ones putting us against each other because they know our power.
Mm-hmm.
So if we understand that a covenant, before they call it a covenant, and it's so powerful, and it's women, a group of women, what did they do? Kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we have women, of course, they are separation of, okay, I believe this, and you have very right-minded, left-minded. Then they're separating us. Okay, I'm very traditional, I'm very liberal. They're separating us. It's the fact that we need to accept each other.
Mm-hmm.
And for the love of God, let's not fight over men.
And yes, oh yeah.
It's the worst. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's and then when you have that circle of friends, and it may only be one or two, but the power of three, I say the power of three is very powerful.
oh
The
my
power
gosh, yes.
of 6 is very powerful. The power of 9 is very powerful. And so for me, 3 groups of 3. So you've got the double threes, which is ascended master. So that's, divine energy coming into your circles.
Mm-hmm.
First start. And then working in groups to help send energy to women that are not in a position to do that at the moment. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to change. I want to make real, and we've got the energies, we have the energy. The energies universally are behind us. The power is already embedded within us.
Mm-hmm.
We've just got to do the little bit of work to pull the keys from our DNA to unlock it all so that we can make it happen.
Yes.
And bring the goddesses back. Bring the goddesses back. Too long have we had God as a male. And I'm not against, and I don't want to offend anybody in any religion. But if you go back through history, there was always a God and a goddess. There was always a partnership. There was always a divine unity. It
Mm-hmm.
was always equal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we need to be working on. This is where we need to be taking ourselves. Don't think, oh, well, I can't do that. I don't have that amount. I'm not that far along my spiritual journey. Just taking the step to turn up the volume on your inner voice will be a massive input into the collective and the work that we can actually do to help each other.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really good place to end that.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's bye-bye from me.
and me. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Bye bye.